Visitors, anybody this evening? Mr. Sengle? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'd just like to speak to the appointments that are on the agenda. Both town committees, as we all can see, are recommending appointments to the Board of Selectmen. And of course, I'm chairman of the RTC, and we put forward, the way this is laid out, it looks like we didn't recommend the two at the bottom for Inland Wetlands, but we recommended, I think as at least the board knows, Ed Alberino. And I just want to talk to that for a second. Mr. Alberino is the only person that came to us seeking to be appointed to something in town. He wanted to serve, he wanted to do something more. He's done a lot for the fire department for, I understand, almost 30 years. Heavily involved as a captain, involved in the ambulance corps. He does training for CPR and that sort of thing. But he came to us seeking someplace to serve. Nobody else came forward, so we found this slot and we're recommending him to you. We understand, of course, that there was another person filling this slot whose term expired. And I just want to say that I would ask you to respect the recommendation of the RTC. I would hazard to guess that some Democrat came forward and bypassed the DTC, they wouldn't even be on the agenda. They would never even be considered. So I just would hope the same courtesy would be extended to us. Now, if there's some Republican that you would like to reward because they campaigned for you or made a campaign contribution or did whatever in the past, service to the town or whatever, I think that's fine. Everybody's entitled to do whatever they want, whatever's legal. And so all I would suggest is that you take a slot or a seat that's been traditionally a Democratic seat and give it to that person. But don't take it away from us. Just as you wouldn't like it if the shoe was on the other foot. So you have to remember that sometimes things will change and those kind of things can come back to haunt you. So I just ask you to respect our recommendation.
That's fine.
Thank you.
Apparently Mr. Alberino has withdrawn his name at this point.
I'm not aware of that.
He said that to me before the meeting. And I told Mrs. Isaacson that she has to go through the RTC.
Did you withdraw?
Sure,
Well, we haven't got to that point yet. When we get to that point in agenda, we'll let Eddie talk if you, whatever's going on. But I will correct you that you make assertions and assumptions wrongfully, because there have been many Democrats that have not gone through the DTC that have been appointed by this board. There have been Republicans that have switched to use and then put on commissions like the Harbor Commission because it was a Democratic seat, but I thought they would fill that position very well. All right, and that has not gone through the DTC. So don't make bold assumptions, because you know what assume means, and that's out of human being. So Phil, for your short time in town, you make a lot of assumptions. That's not the way it's worked. Thank you. Resignations and appointments. We got a long list. It's the end of the year. Terms expire. DTC recommended appointments, reappointments, basically reappointments. Dave Rack, Inland Wetlands. Catherine Jamencik, Inland Wetlands, Megan Stein, Historic Commission, Alan Felgate, Historic Commission, David Long, Housing Authority, Steve Hayes, Harbor Commission, John Olson, Harbor Commission. Motion on those.
Make a motion to accept the appointments to the DTC.
Second on that?
Second.
Okay. Any discussion on any of those?
Well, they're all hard workers.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No abstentions? Motion carries. RTC recommendation appointments. Rod Kerwak, Conservation. Anthony Pinto, EDC. Phil Sengle, Fair Rent. John Paulson, Fish and Game. Joseph Paulson. Roy Sullivan, Fish and Game. Thomas Riggino, Shellfish. Ed Alberino, Inland Wetlands.
Well, are you including that in this recommendation?
Yes, the RTC recommendation, I included.
Okay, then I make a motion that we accept the RTC recommendations for appointments.
Okay, just a second.
Second.
Discussion. Edward.
Sure.
Are you still in?
I just want to get this, I want to say this. I wanted to serve our community, and I spoke to John, Lynn, Willie know my intentions, and Phil, and I appreciate everything. But I've been part of the fire department across the street for over 20 years, and volunteerism to me is very important. But it's also important not to step on anybody's toes. And I feel like I'm in a position that I'm stepping on someone's toes. Now, whether it be political, not political, Liz Isaacson has done a lot for the town, has been on the board. And when I found out that she wants to be on the board or part of the Inland Wetlands, I don't want any problems. So in doing that, I want to withdraw my name unless Mrs. Isaacson doesn't want it. If there's any open positions, I would gladly do it. You know, I've been doing it across the street for over 20 years, right, Willie? Mm-hmm. And as many, maybe some of you don't know, I donate all my time for the CPR, to training the schools, Jack Cross, and everything. That's what I love to do, to give. But I don't like, I'm too old, I'm 50 years old, I don't want to get involved in a lot of things that I don't need to be involved in, you know? And I'm not politically correct. I just say what's on my mind. And sometimes it hurts people, but at least everyone knows where I come from. There is no gray area.
Well,
So
this sort of thing happens all the time.
But
You understand? I mean,
I don't like to hurt anybody. You know, like I just don't.
Be courteous.
I always want to be respectful of everybody, and the last person I want to hurt is Mrs. Isaacson. I really do. You know, I mean, maybe it was an oversight, you know, but that being said,
Can we table this though?
table it, do what you want, but I don't want to
I
get
told
involved.
Mrs. Isaacson that she needs to go through the RTC.
And she should.
You have a meeting next week. This is not an earth-shattering thing, nothing's gonna stop because there's nobody there.
Right.
Mr. Sengle, can I just ask you one question? Did you contact Ms. Isaacson to find out if she was still interested in remaining on the Inland Wetlands Commission?
I did not
Okay, I
contact her.
just wondered.
The vast majority of these people I did not contact.
It was just,
No, everybody knows the procedure, especially those who've been here a long time and who have served a number of years. They know the procedure. You know, in hindsight, maybe I should have called, but I didn't call the others. And, you know, I get word that people are interested. Eddie did actually approach me. He's one of the few that approached me. That's
About several months ago,
happened.
and I approached Willie, and I approached John. I mean, everybody
We're gonna
said
scour the blue book,
a lot of
find
people.
something for Eddie.
They said there's a lot of people.
We'll find something.
It's not gonna start, there's a lot of openings.
They said there's a lot of organizations. You know, so except your jobs.
You want water pollution? You want water pollution?
Water
You want water
pollution?
pollution?
He's an owner, Billy, you gotta make me you.
I don't care.
We'll find something.
If you're qualified, we'll put you on water pollution, I don't know.
Water, right?
Yeah. I guess
You know, it's out of crushed rock now, he's a stone crusher.
But that's my intentions, and I thank everyone here for, you know, just.
No problem.
well, it does sound like this is something that needs to be taken until we're a little clearer on what we do going forward here. So I'd like to make a motion to accept the RTC recommended appointments of Rodney Kerouac, Anthony Pinto, Phil Sengle, Joseph Paulson, Roy Sullivan, Tom Riccio, and that's it. And tabling the Ed Alberino and Elizabeth Isaacson appointment to Inland Wetlands till next week.
Need a second.
And I'm sure you guys could find something.
Need a second. Not a second.
A discussion, I feel as if I need to abstain from Mr. Pirac's, so I don't know how you want to do that, if you want to separately or.
No, abstaining on them all.
Amend
I'll
the
just abstain
motion.
on them all.
Okay. We got a second and motion, any further discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Abstentions, Lynn, good. Okay. Moving on.